Hello, and welcome to Confidently Wrong, a show by regular dudes talking with confidence about content we have no right to speak about with any kind of authority, but do it anyway. I'm Wesley Nakamura, and I'm joined by award-winning director Brian Redondo and Savon Jones, aka Captain Bonnie. This is episode 56, and we are excited to share what we're loving. I'm confident that it's going to be the best show you've ever listened to, and well, hey, if it's not, you can always ask us for a refund.
Incredible!
Hello, gentlemen. Welcome. We're a man down today, but we're going to do our darndest to make it a fantastic show. It is the dead of winter here in Austin, Texas. It was something like 21 degrees or something like that overnight. 21 degrees is very cold. I know you guys up there in the Northeast are more used to that, but good lordy, it is not fun.
It is so cold in the South that Mike fled for New York. How
He
does
had
that
to-
happen?
Like a goose leaving for winter. I got it.
You did like a reverse snowbird, bro.
He went from 21 degrees to 30 degrees.
Oh my god, it is so cold outside. Just you go outside and your face is starting to get that like burn. You come inside and your hands start burning because it's like they're warming up, but the blood's starting to flow. It's tingly. It's crazy.
I don't think you can say that when Savon is here. There's
Look,
just
I didn't wanna
zero
say
sympathy.
nothing.
Yeah.
Nah, it's we actually I actually been working from home the last couple of days because we had like a bad snowstorm thing come through the last couple of days.
It's probably the same system that came through here. I don't even know.
Probably. It's like a
So
nice
you had a
14 right
snow
now.
work day?
I mean, I was just working from home, but yeah.
We did that yesterday
I
too.
was in the apartment drinking hot chocolate, you hear me? Getting it in.
Yeah. School got canceled on Thursday because they were expecting icy conditions on the roads because it had frozen overnight and it rained big rain on Thursday.
I haven't driven in days. I'm not going nowhere.
Yeah, crazy. I don't really like chocolate. So when I was a kid, we'd go skiing and like it would be like me and like 3 or 4 other cousins, and the people who did the lessons, basically it was like daycare for kids, like my parents would go out skiing and stuff, but they would make us hot chocolate, when we come in at breaks because it was cold and, good little treat for kids or whatever. Bro,
Adults.
since I didn't want chocolate and I wouldn't drink the hot chocolate because I tried it and I just did not like it. Did
you throw it on the ground?
No, but they would accommodate me by giving me just like hot water, like in a mug.
Well,
That's
clearly
it.
you
Just
didn't
hot
have
water.
taste. Well, clearly you didn't have taste. What kid doesn't
Yeah.
like hot chocolate after coming in from the cold? That sounds like...
I know I brought it on
Child
myself,
Protective
but I
Services
literally
like,
I was
hey.
just a sad little kid. I just had a cup of hot water. I wouldn't drink the whole thing. Hot water doesn't taste good, guys.
I'll pay good
They were
money
just
for a
like, what
picture
do we
of Baby
do with this
West.
child?
Right? This weird ass kid don't want no hot chocolate. Sorry, we didn't have any hot cider or no mulled wine for you.
Give me some mead. Yeah,
That's
I wasn't.
great.
I wasn't about it. I was really struggling in the wintertime for drinks, man, guys. It was a struggle. All right, let's get into what we're loving.
What we're loving.
Thanks, Bass Elf.
Great. I'm gonna go first because mine's probably the most like weird and not that awesome. Well, one of them is. So the first thing I want to talk about is for what I'm loving is Kaya, the little baby Kaya, is doing this thing now where she is like just spewing out a bunch of nonsense sounds. It sounds like she's kind of trying to have a conversation with you or with herself, and she'll go on for maybe 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes at a time, sometimes even 5 minutes, and it's pretty crazy just to like watch this little baby who used to make like no extended sounds all of a sudden just turn into this chatterbox, and you can like pretend have conversations with her. I think I have like 5 minutes worth of video now in my phone of me just talking to her and her trying to talk back. I sent it to the guys so they could check it out. And the other thing that is kind of crazy, well, I don't know, Savon, what did you think? This little baby, making nonsense sounds.
I mean, that was just the dopamine, the dopamine rush just right into my veins that I didn't realize I needed. Y'all, I know everybody might not be baby people, all that, but just seeing a little chunky baby just in her little seat thing where she can't move, posted up, and she just basically just spitting bars, just ooga booga booga, shnuka booga tuka, oobada. It's the most adorable shit ever, bro. It is precious. It makes you realize the beauty of the human language and the sanctity of life. Wes, soak it in, brah. I did.
I just can't believe that she can go on and on for 5 minutes on her own. I mean, that is a TED Talk by itself. Like, what do you think she's expounding on? Like, the meaning of life or something? Did she make a new discovery with her retinas that she has to share with the world?
I just imagine God looking down on the world and thinking the same thing about our little podcast and being like, what are they talking about for 40 minutes? What do they think they have to say? Their
Fair.
underdeveloped brains.
Maybe that's actually what Kaya is talking about.
Right.
Daddy leaves me every couple weeks for 2 hours.
To talk about nonsense.
This is some bull. I'm putting in a formal complaint with the management. She's actually just doing like a whole
It's a performance
rant.
review. It could be. Could be.
Yeah. She's saying 0 stars over and over for 5 minutes.
I'm still
I
hungry.
wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. The what was kind of interesting though was I was playing back one of the videos the other night and was completely taken back. And maybe I shouldn't be, but the video actually, if you listen with AirPod headphones, and I don't know if this applies to all headphones or if it's just some AirPods. They're not fancy. They're the Gen 2 ones, the regular AirPods.
Not to be confused with Gen Tran.
Not to be confused with Gen Tran. The 3D space, like the stereo separation or whatever, was incredible. I was just completely distracted by the fact that, like, when I was listening, it really felt like there was someone to the left of me. Jen was, like, kind of talking to, and the TV was on a little bit to the right. And then I was behind the camera, and it felt like my voice was, like, right behind me. And Kaya was actually about 4, 5, 6 feet in front of me. And it sounded like she was further away and in front of me. Like, I don't know how they did it, but Apple managed to make the microphones in the... I'm sure this is an old thing. Like, I'm sure this has been around for, like, years. But I was just, like, completely dumbfounded. I replayed the whole video again just to, like, concentrate on where the sounds were coming from. It was, like... crazy. I don't know why this thing like so got my attention, but I was just like, there's a person next to me. I mean, it felt like because you're using headphones, it just feels like everything's real. Like you're just recreating that scene. That was just incredible.
You like it because it's letting you get to really appreciate your fatherhood moments.
Maybe it was, but just the fact that it was like I was in that thing again. I was like, this is the only way I'm watching Kaya videos from now on. Just they're going to be headphones in 3D space. It's going to be great.
Beautiful.
And I wanted to give a shout out. I checked it out. It was amazing. Takeout with Lisa Ling is on HBO Max. And it's such a cool show, especially for Asian Americans and an Asian American audience. But I think anybody could appreciate like what they were doing. The premise of the show is she kind of focuses on one culture's cuisine as it like gets translated into American culture and in American settings. And she goes to one location. So like for Korean food, she ended up in the DC area. For Japanese food, she ended up in like the LA area. And so she goes to these different places and like interviews people about like their experience, their grandparents' experience, their great-grandparents' experiences, and like how these different enclaves sort of came to be, and then how their food gets shaped by their experience, but also like by what's around them in their current environment. It's a really cool premise. The food looks dope. The people have really cool stories to tell. Honestly, like Lisa Ling is probably the weakest part of the whole thing, and it doesn't really even matter that like that's not like the strong suit. It really is like just letting the people that she's talking to shine. She's uncovering like really cool stories. Like all these Filipinos living in Louisiana. I don't know, Savon, if you knew this, but like there's a whole group of Filipino people who look white, who look Cajun, living down in like John Lafitte and just hanging out there doing their Filipino roots thing. And
I think I've seen that with people like they open their mouth and then as soon as you hear the accent and how they're talking, you're just like, whoa.
I mean, that's Cajun people anyways, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's like but you just keep it a buck. You don't expect to go to rural Louisiana and Mississippi, see a bunch of old Asian people, and then they open their mouth and sound like the Beverly Hillbillies. It's funny, but yes, I think I've heard of that. But that's dope, dude.
Yeah, it's short. It's like 25-minute episodes. There's like 6 of them. You could like consume those just like, watching lunch or, have during your lunch break or whatever. It's cool. And I'm kind of saving the best for last. Our boy Brian Redondo got supervising editor credits on like 5 of the episodes. So
Yeah. Thanks for plugging
big
in.
ups, Brian.
Ooh, big
You're welcome, world. You're welcome.
Bow
I
down.
came through for you again.
How was that experience though?
I'm not going to comment on Lisa Ling.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to get more work.
Got to get paid.
But yeah, it was a very fun experience, and it was illuminating for me as well. A lot of those things I sort of knew about. I sort of knew about Filipino settlers in the 1700s in Louisiana, but I just didn't comprehend how deep it went. Mm-hmm. And that's true in every episode of that show. There's things you sort of know about. You sort of know about Little Saigon in Orange County, but you don't really know. And this show allows you to actually immerse yourself in it and get a full, rich understanding. And I think that is what's very groundbreaking about the series.
That's
For
awesome,
sure.
dude.
And
Did
I
they do
got
Vietnam?
paid.
Come on, get the money.
What'd you ask?
Did they do? That's really awesome because one thing, a little New Orleans tidbit, which Wes, you probably know, is just we have a huge Vietnamese community in New Orleans, and there's clearly a lot of influences between Vietnamese food and some of the New Orleans food. Like I'm just thinking about how my mom would make something called yak mein, and how it's like just as I got older, I realized, oh, this is like a pho noodle inspired dish. Like it's still not quite the same, but it's clear that there's cultural influences that bled over that clearly even impact my day-to-day growing up, and that's dope. So I'm definitely going to check this out because I like food. I really like Asian food, and I would love to see the journey of how food evolves.
I mean, there is a restaurant in New Orleans called Manchu's Fried Chicken, so it's definitely
but that's a little bit more of just like we cater to everybody rather than like a true fusion. Manchu's just
it's
said,
not
all right,
fusion. It's
we're gonna do Asian
just
food.
fried chicken.
We're gonna do fried chicken, and everybody go the whole block eating. But there is like a pho. There is like a New Orleans fusion Vietnamese place, but they had a COVID shutdown when I went there for the holiday, so I have to check it out another time.
There's definitely a thing called Viet Cajun.
Yeah. But that's more popular
I think that's
in Houston,
in
actually.
Texas. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Houston's really holding it down for Viet Cajun food. Dave Chang did a whole episode on that, right? That like New Orleans is really traditional about how boils work, whether it's shrimp boil or crawfish boils, and so there's just a lot less room to like experiment there, whereas Houston was a little bit less tied to sort of the traditional way of doing things, and so they were sort of more open to that, which is interesting because, like you said, there's so many Vietnamese people in New Orleans that could totally have been a thing, but it's sort of been growing out in Houston more.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so everybody go check out Take Out with Lisa Ling. Drive up those streaming numbers on HBO Max because our boy needs to get another job with CNN to get that money.
Yeah, I need a season 2.
No, but for real, it is good.
I got nothing booked for the second half of this year, so yeah,
right.
I need that.
Yeah, so let's set that up for him. Everybody go watch it. Even if you're not even watching, just let it stream. They're going to get that data anyways.
That's what I do.
All right, Savon, you want to go? What you loving?
Yeah, what I'm loving. So I had a couple things planned for this What You're Loving, but I'm going to
Let's talk
pivot.
about it.
Yeah, we're going to pivot to this in the context of a recent announcement made a couple days ago by Rockstar. Actually, I think it was yesterday. But Rockstar has basically confirmed that a new GTA game is in development. They didn't give a lot of details about a release date, but the main thing they said was thank you for supporting us this time. We didn't expect the online to last as long as it did. It's kind of unprecedented, but we're committed to giving y'all new experiences. So for everyone who's excited, I know all the toxic boys in particular are very happy for this, but yeah, a new GTA is going to be coming out somewhere in the near future. My hope is
Cue
that
the air horns.
But I hope we get us a nice full like next gen all-in GTA experience. So I'm excited for that.
But I mean, Savon, like GTA 5 has been out for a million years. GTA 6, like, of course they're going to do a new one, but there's no actual details here in this announcement. I mean, it could literally be like 2025 before this thing comes out, bro.
Yeah,
Yep.
like we didn't know they were making another one.
Yeah, but usually with Rockstar and their classic development cycles, usually the game will come out within 2 to 3 years of them actually like formally saying, "Hey, this is a thing that's happening." So
Okay.
That's
What it
true
means
of
is that-
every single game ever.
yeah, but Rockstar, they don't just pump. It's not like they're just pumping out games. They usually when they do a game, they were probably working on it for ages already. So
They're going to get it ready for PS6. I hear you. I hear you.
I think this will be one of those peak PS5 games I was telling y'all about. Of like the system's been out and now we know what it can do, and I think this is gonna be one of those.
And now we know it's over.
Whatever.
Right? Those Swan Song games or the peak games are
Some of the
always the
best.
Swan Song games.
Yeah. Oh, maybe this will be a little bit before Swan Song because PS5's only been out like a year. So,
Wait,
but it'll be a peak one.
Savon,
Oh,
how
a good
long
one.
has GTA 5 actually been out for?
Dude, this
'Cause
game
it's
came
been a
out
while.
in
You've been talking about this
September.
forever.
This game came out in September of 2013.
Oh
God,
my
that's
goodness.
Right. And actually,
long ago.
yeah, and so actually, I'm excited for the GTA announcement, but what I really wanted to do was to put in perspective how long this damn game has been out and how long I've been playing it with friends, family, all that.
You've been playing since launch?
I got the game the day it came out.
Oh my
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah. I
GTA
bought it-
5 was a revelation.
Yeah. And the moment the online became available, I was online. Like Tyler and Kendall and my friend group, I was the first one on, and the game didn't work. It was great times. But I'm gonna just talk about a few things, people, to show you the state of the world when this damn game came out, and it still has content actively coming out, even as of 2 months ago.
Dr. Drake.
LeBron James was still on the Heat when this game came out.
Oh, that was so many.
This
teams ago.
2 teams ago.
That was two
How many
teams ago.
championships ago?
Like two.
Yeah.
2 championships ago. Obama was still president, and this is like
Oh, damn.
early second term Obama. So like we're still not even on like the ass end of. Well, actually, no, we are. We're running down slope, but like this is barely into his second term.
All right.
We haven't even heard of Trump yet.
Yeah, that's not
Trump
even
is
like
still
on the radar.
like
Oh, my
The-
goodness.
He's still
In the
funny.
future.
He's
Trump
still
is
that
still like.
joke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Trump is still like funny and okay to like just talk about in a casual manner. He hasn't gotten to that like devil status yet. If you gave birth when this game
S-class
came out,
devil.
your child would be 9.
That's old,
To give it
baby.
perspective, there are 9-year-olds who are 100% griefing people in this game as we speak right now. Like, I want to be clear. There's a 9-year-old flying around in a jet, blowing some dude up, minding his business. The game is older than them, and they're just like, yeah, GTA, it's always been around. I was a junior in college when this game came out. Which,
Damn.
again, maybe for Wes and Brian, not a big deal, but that was still 9 years ago. I've been
Yeah, if we were juniors in college, that would be
Yeah.
whew,
But even
2005,
me-
baby.
Yeah, but even me, I've been out of college longer than I was in college at this point, so a while ago. Brian was still single.
I can't even imagine that. Oh my god, my life was so different.
Yeah, see, before you met the love of your life.
Shout out
I was-
Anna.
It was when I was up to no good in GTA 5 and up to no good in the real world.
Oh, it's beautiful. And just like the game, you found you a family and you settled down. A little more of a sad one. This is 2013. Same-sex marriage wasn't federally recognized by the Supreme Court until 2015. So this was still a constitutionally just not recognized thing. And we still have a year and some change before it gets overturned or before that changes.
Yeah.
Donald Sterling was still in the NBA. He was still the
Wait, when
owner
when did he get kicked out?
2014.
Oh my goodness.
Man, the world
feels like
is so
forever.
different.
All the stuff that came out about Donald Sterling, which for people who aren't familiar, Donald Sterling was the former owner of the Los Angeles Clippers. He was like a comic caricature level racist in terms of just things that he was doing. And when it got brought to light, he was ultimately ousted from the NBA and banned for life
For
by Adam
life.
Silver. We only had one Avengers movie out at the time. It was
Joss Whedon.
The Joss Whedon Avengers movie was the only one out. Everyone had, lost their mind, but we still haven't even gotten to there's still so much MCU stuff that doesn't exist yet, y'all.
That
There's
was
no Guardians,
just-
there's no Black Panther.
Yeah.
No Ultron. Thank
The
goodness.
tip of the iceberg, really.
Yeah. This is when we're proof of concept, oh y'all, this shit might work.
Mm.
I I'm pretty sure I had a mohawk still. I used to have a fur hawk back in the college days for a period of time. I'm pretty sure I destroyed most of the pictures, but like we're getting to that point where fashions change.
I can't even imagine that. Did you also ride a fixie?
Okay, I don't want. This isn't like a punk rock mohawk. Y'all know that, right?
So it's more like James Harden kind of like.
Yeah, like you know when black people had the fur hawks. You remember that? Like, dang, I wasn't dyeing my stuff green and putting it into a bunch of spikes.
Jones, like the guy in Jessica Jones.
Yeah,
the neighbor guy.
Yeah, used to shave the sides. Shave the sides and mohawk. For the music people, "Take Care" by Drake was the Grammy rap album of the year at the time. So this is still in like before Drake has just become a main, like he's still a household name, but this is before Drake is just like, oh, music industry, big name, Drake, that goes synonymous. Drake is still blowing up.
I gotta admit, the Drake one went right over my head.
What you mean?
I don't know his albums. I am not a Drake fan.
I'm not like a huge Drake fan, but he's enough of a pop just icon to where whether I like it or not, I'm going to be exposed to his music and know, this is a really popular album. Yeah. Also, I was in college when this album came out, so there was no way I was about to not hear Marvin's Room a million times. And then the last one that stood out to me, this is when Game of Thrones was like in full swing. Like the most Game of Thrones stuff was happening. We were still recovering from the Red Wedding by the time GTA came out.
Oh my goodness.
Red Wedding came
we were so innocent
summer
back then.
2013.
Peak Game of Thrones before
it just went
yeah.
So this is when everyone is still just crying, they killed Rob, the king in the north. Arya got beef. All that popping off. That was still this was that window of time when GTA had come out. So you can look back at your own lives and think about, man, what was happening in 2013? But just know, between now and then, GTA has gone strong.
I was about to say, like, really, Savon, you could say you grew up with GTA 5, but I don't know that the game has grown up with you, like, or that you're growing up by playing that game. You're like,
you're just getting stuck in 2013.
Yeah, exactly. You're just in 2013 mode for 9 years.
Dude, it's gotten this is what's really wild. It's gotten to the point where because the game has been out so long and certain times they update the radio stations with music, you can actually, especially with the rap stations, because rap is so contemporary and the culture moves fast, you can start to see what rap songs on the modern stations are kind of dated compared to newer songs they've added. Because like there's songs from 2013, I'm like, oh, this song sounds kind of dated now listening to it 9 years later. And then they have songs from new artists who were probably kids when this game came out. So there's moments where I can kind of feel but I can't deny this game this is like my equivalent of people who play like Counter-Strike forever or just played the game all through like the early 2000s or 90s.
Yeah, CSGO is still
it's
going
like
strong.
Still?
Yeah. Like you're still playing them? It's still fun.
Hey, if it still gives you enjoyment, you gotta.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So shout out to Rockstar for putting out a great game.
Love it. 2013, what a time to be alive. Brian, take us out for our last What We're Loving, because we don't have Mike here.
Well, 2022, I'm very excited about.
Welcome to the
more adult-themed animation. I wanted to talk about The Legend of Vox Machina on Amazon Prime. And many episodes ago, many moons ago, when Savon was out and we had Mike on, the three of us talked about how none of us really understood Dungeons and Dragons at all.
Oh, no, not at all.
While Savon wasn't present to even defend this thing that he enjoys and perhaps loves. And that was a little bit unfair of us. But I enjoyed it nonetheless. But here we are in 2022, and now The Legend of Vox Machina has arrived. And for those of you that don't know, it's an animated show based in the Dungeons and Dragons universe, and it's an adaptation of another web series called Critical Role, where a bunch of video game voice actors have played an ongoing Dungeons and Dragon quest with the same group of characters and a running narrative for, I don't know, like as long as GTA 5 has been out, maybe half that time, probably like 5 years. I'd probably say 5 years. And so that has amassed such a huge following somehow that all of a sudden it's been adapted into an animated show. And I got to say, like, I don't play Dungeons and Dragons. I don't fully understand it. I don't watch Critical Role, but this animated series is just like another gem in the adult animation crown of Amazon Prime, to go right up there with Invincible. This show is like, because the narrative and the lore is so deep from Critical Role already, all these characters have been fully established and well thought out already after years worth of quests, so that immediately when you're introduced to them in the show, the characters have already been together a long time, right? We're jumping into their story like midpoint, I guess. So they're a classic role-playing gang of, elves, gnomes,
Orc.
mages. I thought he was an orc, but he's actually a half giant, it turns out.
Oh, okay, bet.
A bard, gunslingers, archers, right? So it's got that classic group, but they've been together for a long time, and we jump right in with them, and they already have all of their banter and their side jokes and their backstories and some their tensions, both whether they're romantic or rivalries or distrust. But they're a group of mercenaries that work together, and often do so with potty mouth language, but with a lot of heart at the same time. And I think that's what really makes the show click for me. It's not just like the Suicide Squad version of Dungeons and Dragons where everything is adult themed to be adult themed.
Yeah.
It's more like adults are the ones who are having the conversation, right? It's gonna have tender moments, but it's also gonna have some goofy ones. It's gonna have some sexual ones. It's gonna have some violent ones, and it's a really great time. In every episode, there's a huge fight set piece, fantastic animation. Invincible, I'm looking at you. Step it up.
You take a shot. I'm here for it.
So yeah, it's just a fantastic show, and the voice acting, of course, is phenomenal because it is the same video game voice actors from Critical Role. So you got Ashley Johnson, who plays Ellie in The Last of Us, and also Abby, played by Laura Bailey, who are two of at least the two voice actors that I'm most familiar with, and they're of course always standout performers. So it through and through, great show. I think all y'all need to get on.
Yeah, where can I watch this?
I'm gonna check it out.
Amazon Prime.
He said.
Yeah.
It's like one of the ones
Legend
I don't have.
of Vox Machina.
But
You're gonna have
gotta
to get
watch
it,
it.
bro.
Yeah, that sounds fire. Thank you, Brian, because
Yeah, you're welcome, man. This is D&D.
yeah, bro. And then all the stuff you're saying, I'm like, this sounds like people who have been playing as a D&D party forever. Because when you have a group you've been playing with for like months or even years, legit, that's how the chemistry becomes of like your character. You really do just bounce jokes off each other and have inside jokes amongst your party. So it sounds really authentic. And if it's good animation, I'm here for it. Say less, player.
Yeah. So, like a few things that like really stood out to me, like some of the characters, right? You got one guy who's a gnome, but he's also a bard, but he's also like hypersexual. So, he's like spending all his time in brothels and stuff. And like, he plays like a magical lute, that can be used in combat, but also just used to sing very lewd songs, which is pretty great. There's twin half elves who are really interesting. One wields daggers, the other is an archer, and they kind of try to stick together and don't like other people trying to interrupt their dynamic. And then you got the half giant, who at first I thought was an orc, but he's a half giant, who's kind of like the bumbling idiot of the group, Drax-ish, but more childlike. So because he's more childlike, he's he's actually that much more sympathetic. Because he knows
He
not
doesn't
what
know
he
better.
does, right? But at the same time, wants to drink as much ale as possible. So like he's like trying to get drunk. And to round it out, they have a sidekick bear familiar called Trinket.
Oh my
who
God.
goes with them on quests. So and I didn't even mention the character that can transform into different animals and like talk to plants.
The druid.
And talk to plants.
Yeah,
The
she's
ever
a druid.
druid, of course.
She's a druid. So
This is hilarious.
Yeah.
This sounds like so many this sounds so authentic. And again, I think the best part about this is people make these characters up themselves individually. So all those quirks and weird things is just someone saying, you know what, this is what I want to do to bring my character to life. Like that's the best part of the game.
oh yeah,
It's not the stats.
Yeah,
It's the, hey, is your character just gonna be like someone who's just rude to people and we gotta deal with that? Or is your dude gonna be the drunk? Like there's always a drunk in the group who's just, hey, don't let homie turn up because now it's gonna cause problems. I mean, you hardcore won me over, bro. I'm like actually excited. I want to watch this today.
it is exactly like that. All the characters are so idiosyncratic, right? Like you can tell it's just somebody made up this character based on themselves and other people that they know, so that each one of them feels like a fully developed personality already. That you don't even like. I don't really know any of their backstories, right? But I was on board with them, and as soon as they came on screen, which you're introduced to them in, of course, a tavern bar fight.
Yep. It's always
Got
a
to,
tavern.
got to.
It's always an inn. Oh, I'm here.
Nice.
And this is great.
Nice.
I'm excited.
All right. Well, let's see. Oh, I wanted to talk about real quick about the Batman trailer. It came out a couple weeks ago. The action looks cool. The scenes, the cinematography all look pretty dope. I'm actually more excited. I was pretty skeptical about this. I'm just not ready for another Batman movie. And I mean, but the problem for me is just Pattinson, man. He just does not do it for me. I'm very, I don't know if the word is skeptical, hesitant about anything that he's going to be in and be like the main driver of. I don't buy him as anybody as like a good actor. And so it's just hard to have him be the thing. I don't know. You guys didn't watch it, right? The trailer?
I have seen the first trailer.
Okay.
First
I've
one.
But you're trying
actually
to
been
avoid
trying not to watch the new ones because I know each trailer is going to divulge more and more information.
Yeah.
I was already sold at the first trailer.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
And it's interesting that you say that about Robert Pattinson. It kind of sucks for these actors that break their career in young adult
For sure.
movies or vehicles or whatever, and then they're spending the entirety of the rest of their career of trying to undo the damage that did to their own brand. Which is the case for Robert Pattinson because in recent movies, I'll say Good Time, which is like a romp through underground New York City, that involves a lot of drugs and guns and stuff. He's phenomenal in.
Oh, really? Okay.
The
All right.
Lighthouse with Willem Dafoe, which is a kind of bonkers black and white movie. He's really great in. And in Christopher Nolan's Tenet, where he plays kind of the sidekick to what's that guy's name? David Washington? Is that his name?
I think that's
Denzel's
right.
son?
Yeah.
Yeah, David Washington.
Yeah, he plays the sidekick to that guy, and he's a scene stealer in that movie too, because he's so charming on screen.
Okay. All right.
so
you're
I
giving me
gotta
hope.
say-
You're giving me hope.
I gotta say, I think he does look a little weird as Bruce Wayne in the Batman trailer. However, I will say that I think his acting chops are going to get through the movie. I think he will be one of the better Batmans.
Gotta give that man a chance. You know?
All right. Well,
Going on a
all
limb.
right. I'll give him a chance. Anyways, yeah, I mean, the trailer looks good, so I'm excited. It's coming out in a couple months, I think, or maybe March, something like that. May. I don't know. It'll be good. It'll be good.
You better than
All right.
Christian Bale.
No, I like Christian Bale.
You don't like Christian
It's a
Bale?
good movie. He's not a good Batman.
Oh, I don't know if that's true. All right, I disagree, but let's keep going. Next, Kevin Conroy's the GOAT.
Come on.
obviously. But he didn't have to do the physicality of it, so it's hard to know.
Touche.
All right, next weekend, Super Bowl, whatever it is, 53 or 52, or I don't really even care. Super Bowl something. It's the Rams and Bengals. None of us are big football fans, so I just want to know, who do you
It's
want
Super
to
Bowl
win?
56, by the way.
56. I don't. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's in
To
LA.
football
which I
fans,
do
it
know,
does.
'cause I'm from LA.
It's Super Bowl random letters.
Random, exactly. And the two. So last year was the first Tampa Bay, right? Played in Tampa Bay for the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
It was the
They
first
played at
time
home.
that a team had ever played at home for their own Super Bowl. This year, the Rams playing in SoFi Stadium. It's going to be the second time in a row that a team has done it after having not done it for however many 54 years in a row before that. Pretty nuts. Anyways, who do you want to win, Rams or Bengals? Brian.
This is a bit of a tough question. I haven't fully decided
Giants
which
fan.
side of the fence I'm on, because on the Rams, you got a lot of great players.
Yeah.
Von Miller, who doesn't like Von Miller? Cooper Kupp, who's had a breakout year, who's actually on my roster in fantasy and allowed me to win my first fantasy football title ever.
Oh, give that man the title.
All thanks to Cooper Kupp doing the damn thing. And then you have someone like Matt Stafford, who
Aaron Donald.
who was just like mired in the awfulness that is the Detroit Lions for so many years.
Okay.
And is now finally able to show what he can do, with a proper team. And then they picked up my man OBJ mid-season, who I love and adore because of his time with the Giants, even though the Giants ultimately did him dirty. Which is why I believe that, that's why I want to see him get this opportunity to really shine, right? Because he's had a tough career. People hating on him for his personality and his quote unquote diva-ishness, and so I want to see him get his. But all of that is coming up against the Bengals, who have never been good, like ever.
Wait.
And it's Cincinnati in Ohio, and nothing good ever happens to Ohio. So in a way, I just want it for them to enjoy, as like perennial underdogs, which is a similar way to how I felt about LeBron winning in Cleveland. Like, yeah, give Cleveland a shot.
Throw him a
Why
bone.
not? Yeah, seriously. Like, do we need to see LA win another major sports title? No. They have more titles than they could possibly need, and they're going to get way more. So it's kind of like, can the rest of the country get a chance? Can they? So those
Share
are the
the
two
wealth.
things that are conflicting
Share
in
the
my
wealth.
head.
All right. Savon, do you have a pick on who you'd want to win?
Yeah,
knowing nothing about football.
Yeah, I have a much more small brain take. There's people who are associated with Louisiana/New Orleans on both sides. Beckham Jr. from New Orleans.
Burrow and Chase, right?
Yes, and then Burrow went to LSU, which I don't care about LSU. I don't care about Baton Rouge.
Okay.
But,
All right.
geographic association will take him. And I heard he's like,
sure.
down. So, I heard he's down. So that's cool.
They talk about his drip all the time.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. They say he spent too much time in Baton Rouge. All right, bet. But what it really comes down to, and we talked about this on a previous pod, when I did my NFL top drip list, if y'all recall correctly, I put the Bengals on there because those tiger stripe uniforms are fire. It looks dope. It's drippy. So I don't care what personalities they got on either team, natives, whatever. I got to cheer for the fancy uniforms. Also,
right.
I looked at the Rams
I like
uniforms,
that take.
and they're kind of whack. It's
Yeah,
like a bright yellow.
I'm not
It's
into
like
them.
a bright yellow. It looked like superhero uniforms, but like the
And a
bad
bright
cheesy
blue.
kind. I'm just like, oh, what
Very
are y'all?
bright blue, yeah.
Like, just do navy and gold. Like, why are you doing this bright blue and bright yellow with the? It does not work. Not a drippy uniform. Get it out of here. Shout out to the Bengals. Go get him, Joe Shiesty.
I like the royal blue and yellow. It feels like a throwback to a simpler time when not everything had to be like tough colors. But that bone, they have a uniform that it's like a light gray, and they call it like bone. That has got to go. It literally just looks like it's not been washed. That's all.
Looks like old pajamas.
Yeah, but they're it's like old socks, you know,
Some
like when your
dingy
white socks, they're like gray.
It is just
like,
dingy.
It's like that.
Oh man, and they
But-
feel like sandpaper.
Yeah, but they're gonna wear their white uniforms. They got a set of white tops that they're gonna wear in the Super Bowl.
The Rams. To be
I
clear.
still disagree about the tiger stripes, though. I mean, like,
No.
are they going to play the Super Bowl and then perform in Cats after? Like, come on.
Yeah, because they're diverse and multi-talented and multifaceted. What are the Rams going
Well
to do?
done, bravo.
We value diversity on this show.
We are.
I want the Rams to win just because they're from LA, I think, and Aaron Donald's just a beast. Love watching him play. I do think though, probably if it's gonna come down to quarterbacks, like I think Burrow's probably the better quarterback, and so we're probably gonna see them take it. I think the Rams just are gonna have to have a really good defense, and they have a great chance with that because they've got Aaron Donald on the front line or whatever, and he's been playing really well. So we'll see. We'll see, but I don't know. I don't know who's gonna win. I don't follow football enough, but I do want the Rams to win. I'm gonna be cheering.
You're
for
such
them
an
a little
LA
bit.
sports fan, Wes. I don't even know what to do with you,
Nominally.
man.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna like buy a shirt or anything if they win. So I'm
Brian's
not,
such a
like,
New
super
York
invested.
sports fan. Y'all both awful.
Yo, man, you got to hold it down for your home.
Yeah, but y'all
Hell
both
yeah.
have some of those just worse fan bases. Y'all are great people, but y'all peers. Oof.
All right, that'll take us out of our show. Friends, have a great one. Hit us up on socials at confidently_pod. That's Twitter. That's Instagram. Mostly Instagram. Savon's going to be putting up some more memes, I think, is the deal. Is that right, Savon?
Oh yeah, I'm about to hit y'all with some fire content.
All right, throw us up some content. Leave us reviews. Leave us
Flamethrower.
comments. Apple Podcasts. You got to leave us a review. Spotify. You got to leave us the 5-star reviews. All of it. We don't got any sponsors, but we'll get them soon. Tell your friends about us. Peace out.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Incredible!